What are you doing?
You said you were recording.
Oh, I know.
Did you get me?
No, I'm gonna put this on my YouTube channel.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, I'm putting this on YouTube.
Follow the shoot.
See, now you don't have to ask the question, John, why is there a gangway here? Because you know, if there's a gangway, this must be a seam of coal, right? This hardly looks like coal anymore because all the air being pulled down here through this rock tunnel is actually being pulled right up this chamber and directed to the far side of the gangway. And you'll see how that works in a few minutes. All right, the miners call these kind of veins monkey veins because if they could stand up, they had to walk like a monkey. Some of them actually preferred to work in a vein like this rather than the Clark bed. Even they can imagine what this was doing to their backs and their knees and so on. Some of the reasons they might want to do this is because look at the difference in the size of the props, number one. Remember, they had to put those up themselves, and over in the Clark bed, they were some of them were 12 feet long. Also, since they had to buy all their own dynamite and explosives in the old days, the rock top here and the rock bottom here are much closer together, so they could get more coal with less explosive. All right? And also, if there was going to be a little rock fall of sorts here, it was only going to fall a few inches. Down in the Clark bed, it could fall a few feet. All right? And here, after electricity came into the mine, they could just throw the coal on this thing. It shook back and forth. They came up with a really inventive name for it, a shaker chute. You can imagine what OSHA would say about those open springs there on this side of it, and about there would be belts running in the open right there. Have you ever heard someone use the phrase cash money? I got paid cash money. He obviously says it all the time, but he's an old miner, the guy that walked by us. The question always comes up, so I just answer in advance. Why would anybody do this job in this condition? Miners were actually lured here. They recruited them in Europe. Streets are paved with gold in America. If you work hard, you can get rich and make something of yourself. But then when they got them here, it's hard to imagine these valleys before they built up like they are. There would be nothing on the surface but mine shafts, slope mines, and big breaker buildings where the coal was broken down into the size that was needed for home heating. So once those guys got here, they lived in company housing. The company owned all the houses. They were called patches, patch houses. They had to buy everything from the company store. And when we say company store, that's almost a misnomer. In fact, in the sense that some companies own more than one mine. The mine money that they were getting paid was only good in that mine store. They paid the miners not in cash money, but in something called scrip, S-C-R-I-P. If this were spent, there'd be a whole bunch in it. So the miner could spend his scrip only in that mine's store. So if he could save money to move away, the money wasn't good anywhere else. If you wanted to convert this to cash money, well, sure, I'll convert it for you, 50 cents on the dollar. You know? So once they got them here, they were sort of stuck for a long time. And women didn't work in the mines. And the coal companies actively kept any other industry from moving into this area for a long time so that the miners and laborers had nowhere else to work but the mine. If they managed to con the management in a little bit of a raise, well, all the company had to do was raise the price in the company store, where they could already charge whatever they want. And remember, the miner bought all his tools, his explosives, his food, his clothing, everything from the company store. All right, watch your head going around the corner here. Get a little slow on the overhead.
I wonder what the museum's going to be like. Probably have some cool stuff in there too.
Maybe.
All right, so this is an airlock. And we're walking down a gangway now in the number 2 bed of Clark coal, which is on either side of it. There's the low rib, here's the high rib. The purpose of this airlock was to keep the air circulating to the far side of the gangway. You hear the fan running on the other side of the door because there's an air shaft drilled up to the surface there. And the fan, as loud as it is, that fan is 285 feet above us. Right? So if I open both these doors at the same time, the air will stop going up that chamber, stop going down the crosscuts to the far side of the gangway, and black damp will build up down there, and any miners that were there will be overcome. Right? So they had to put in airlocks like this in some places. The doors did not look like this. The doors would be one big door covering the gangway. And that little guy over there, his name was the Little Nipper. His job was to open the door, let the trip of coal cars come in empty this way, close that door, then run up here and open this door, and let the empty trip go on into the gangway. And then he'd close that door and wait here for the full trip to come back. Now, on his head, he's wearing a little oil lamp. And so imagine a kid 5 years old working in here for 8 to 10 hours with nothing on his head to light with that little birthday candle. That would be the youngest job for a kid in the mine. And the only reason he'd be doing it is if his father was injured or killed and couldn't work. If his father was injured or killed, the oldest boy went to work in the mine, even if he was 5 years old. Child labor laws came into existence in the United States because of the mines you're standing in. So even when it became illegal for him to do that job at his age, the mother would take him down to the magistrate and lie about the age. The magistrate would know she was lying and falsify the papers. The company would know the papers were false, but they didn't care as long as they had cheap labor to open and close the door in the airlock. Right? If his dad could no longer work in the mine, and there was no one from the family that could work in the mine, then there was no reason for them to live in the company house. There were stories of people who went to bury their loved one who was killed in the mine, came back and their belongings were already on the street when they came back from the burial. So that poor kid, he would sit up here now, and his dad is already injured or killed, and he would sit up here and wait for the full trip to come back. And sometimes, if he didn't open the door, he didn't hear it, he fell asleep, and the mule driver didn't see that. Remember, they only had a tiny little light. The mule driver didn't see it until it was too late that the door wasn't open, or the mule lost control of the trip. The whole contraption would hit the door. The mule would be injured, and the mule boy would be punished. But the door would fly open and crush the little nipper between the door and the wall. And just like his father before him, they would take the kid home and leave him on the porch for his mother to find. So a lot of, there's always talk about, are there ghosts in this mine? The ghost hunters were here. And they say, yeah, there are. And I say, well, of course there are. The little nipper still closes the door.
Dry air ventilation shaft? I'm sorry? Dry air ventilation.
20 miles down the road from us here is in 1869 was a mine, the Avondale Mine. You may have heard of the Avondale Mine disaster. By the way, 3 of the most major anthracite coal disasters that ever happened in America happened within 15 miles of us here. Avondale Mine was a shaft mine. The breaker for the coal was right on top of the shaft, so they just had to raise the coal right up to the top of the breaker until the process starts very efficient. A 5th grader, believe it or not, a 5th grader asked me this question: how did they circulate air before electricity? Now, the question I got before that was from an adult, which was, where did they go to the bathroom? So there was hope for the future, right?
Okay, I'm gonna end the video here.
Before, if there was no place